Hey guys, Comet here. Welcome back to Alchemy Factory. This is episode 4. In the last episode, I got in this build and this build. This one turns money off of this bottom belt into fuel. And then this whole build here does two things, but primarily advanced fertilizer. I also snuck in the vitality potions in here. It was just really convenient to add in this to everything else I had here. Now, I did say I wanted to get into the... where is that? Transformation potion down here in the last episode. But there's a couple of things I need to redo in the shop, and I have an idea for a really aesthetic and functional shop design. So here is the general outline. I've got all three pieces I'm going to need. I can store potions. I can store a straight piece of just normal shelf goods. And then I even have a corner piece. And all of these have the catapults behind them with the little tunnel through the wall. And we come to the back side. Can have the main item belt just along the wall with vertical lifts to pull stuff off. And that can then go into some boxes here. And then these can go out and feed the shelves. But this gives me space to walk through and pick up items if I need them, while keeping all of the items organized up against this left wall. So it's kind of like a logistics hallway. That means this whole plot here, if I were to set this up, I would give up like 1.5 tiles of actual space to do stuff in the middle with. I haven't bought any other plots yet. I am tempted to buy this area over here and then just move these two builds just to make space for the big shop here in the middle. I don't think I'm to that point yet. I think I can get away with just redoing this whole corner over here, because I don't have all that many items to sell, so everything should fit in this area here. And then I can move all of the legacy factory into this corner over here. I think I'll start by just getting rid of all of these farms. And you know what? How far will this let me go? Can I just get rid of everything? Oh my god. Alright, everything goes. So I'll just put a frame around the entire outside. And then some nice wooden walls on the inside. And then the best place to start is actually in the corner. Come out 3 boxes. And then get the large shelf. It's not flush with the box, just back one. In both directions. And then there's just enough space to fit the catapult 1 tile away from the wall and have it still aim into there. And then just behind these, put in some tunnel conveyors. And all of this is for logistics and belting. And because everything is modular, the corners are always guaranteed to line up, so it doesn't matter what size plot you put this on. And believe it or not, you can just completely dismantle the original building, and the shop will still work. The only thing you can't dismantle is this entryway here. That's like one of the things the villagers use for pathing. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. I just put in some half walls here to kind of close things off a little bit. I don't know what to do in the corners. I just put some boxes there. But most of the logistics is hidden now. It's just the catapults. And I have access to the logistics walls. Or the logistics hallways. I like the cash register being right here by the exit. For the roof, I'm just going to leave it open to the air. I think putting these on would make it a little too claustrophobic. Unless I go up to 2, height 2. You know, it's actually not that bad. Maybe I get some wall candles in. It's starting to look a little cozy in here. Ooh, chandelier for sure. Right in the center. Yeah. Nice. I can get the shop stocked just by putting stuff in these boxes. So I got a lot of crap from dismantling everything. And these will go... No, not there. Go back 1. Yeah, that gives space for the elevator. So I think I'm going to set up basically the same thing I had before in order. So these will be the large gears. Then I'll do the small gears. And I think after that I had mortars. After that was rope. Get all the rope in there. And then linen and bandages. I could throw in pulleys next. And then nails, I think, is the next one. So I will get those in here. Gotta throw the vitality potions over here. I think I'm gonna break through this wall right here. And then this will be where all of the items can flow in. So I should be okay to open the shop back up. The shelves are restocked. And now all I need to do is rebuild all of the factories I took out. I think the best place to start might be with wood, because if this is full of wood, then all of the fertilizer actually stops working. And wood was going into big gears, small gears, and pulleys for now. That's pretty easy to set up. I think I can just do that on the floor here. So that'll get me large gears. Then if I run this backwards, out this way, I can get some processors to make the smaller gears, and those can just go actually straight into the bus there, because there's already a buffer at the restock area. And the beauty of this system is that it doesn't matter which height things come in at. I can always change where these boxes plug into the belt. So if I ever need to rearrange something, make it come in at a different location, I can always do that. So this bottom belt is not going to be the big gears, but it's going to be the small gears. So that can just go into there. Alright, so there is small and large gears going into their boxes. Vitality potions, I can get these connected up really easily, actually. I'll just send them out this way. And then get them up on height 3. Let's see, next are mortars. That shouldn't be too difficult. Those are just made from rock crushers and processors. This needs 15 rocks a minute. This produces 20. So 2 crushers would do 40. 2 processors would consume 30. 3 crushers produces 60. And 60 is divisible by 4 processors. Okay, that'll work. So I could have the middle processor go in both directions, and then these get fed like this. That should work. I could really easily just fit this right about here with a purchasing portal. Actually, I want a third output right here from that middle one, just so I have a place to pick up some stones. I think that might be a good idea. And these could all join up and run this way. Let's see, next are all of the Flax products, so rope, linen, and bandages. And I also need to throw health potions into that as well. Oh, and I also need to remember that some rope has to go into pulleys. So I think it comes down to the nursery to assembler ratio. Let's say this one makes linen. That is 120 linen thread, and if I remember back to episode 1, that is 6 of these. All needing 60 flax fiber a minute. And a single grinder can supply 20 a minute. So that's 3 grinders per processor. So 6 times 3 is 18. That's 18 grinders at 20 a minute. That would be 360 flax a minute. Just to make linen. And flax in the nursery grows at 120 a minute. So I would need 3 nurseries to feed 1 assembler. Each nursery would need 6 grinders. I think I'm seeing a pattern. I could just stack them all like that. This 1 output can go into those 6. How would I do that? I think the easiest way is just with that box method again. So I could just put a box here, a box here, and a box here. I'll get these grinders moved to right there. This can come out and go into 3. And then on top of that, I can have this belt. And I'm going to have to undo that on this side. Okay, that should work. And then I just need 2 processors connected to this box. I can't stack things vertically yet, I don't think. Will this fit on top? Ooh, I can. So I could actually do something like this. Yeah. And then that would need to recombine into another box. Something like this. I actually really like that. It's a little bulky, but I guess it would be even bigger if I didn't vertically stack things. So I'll go ahead and blueprint this. And stick it here. And here. So all of these can just go straight into an assembler. But I have a 3-to-2, which is not great. I could do something like the stone build. That should work, right? And then all this has to do is connect up to fertilizer, and I get free linen. I think this will actually fit next to the stone over there. Let's cut that. And get you in right about there. Let's see if this works. Moment of truth. Flax is coming out, getting ground up. It's going into the processors. And it's coming out. Excellent. Alright, starting to get some linen. So this can just run along next to the mortars here. And it'll plug into this box here across the top of everything. Let's see, and next is rope and bandages. Okay, let's do, I think rope will be a lot easier than bandages. Let's start with rope. And that is just a 1-to-1 direct feed. Linen thread into rope. And that costs 60 flax fiber. I know one nursery makes 120, so one nursery could actually feed 2 of these. I do need to worry about the grinders. So it's 3 grinders to make the 60. I don't think I need to worry about space for this build, so I'm not going to bother stacking them. I think something like this will be just fine. So it'll come out of the nursery, into those grinders, and into those grinders. And then this whole thing, I think I'm going to put just over here, next to the other flax processing. And the output of these can join together and run along next to the bandages. Alright, there's our first few pieces of rope coming through. Beautiful. Next are bandages. This one I'm not too happy about. I think I'll skip that. I'll do pulleys first. That seems a little easier. So, pulleys. Those are made using wood and rope. Rope at 15 a minute. These are making 20. I think I'll copy this and do like a priority splitter to send all of the extra rope into pulleys, and then any excess can just go onto this other rope belt. So I can steal some wood from this box, put it onto something right here, maybe. Just bring it over this way like that. Using a priority splitter here, so it comes out of the yellow input first, or the yellow output first. I could put it right here. Like this. I'll get the assembler here, and then I can run the wood over across the top, like that, and into there. And that should be pulleys. So this can just run out this way and take its place on the main bus. Alright, next is the difficult one, bandages. That one takes healing potions and linen. Linen only at 6 a minute though. Healing potions at 12. So healing potions are made at 10 a minute, so this actually needs more than one assembler doing healing potions. And then linen That makes 12 a minute. This only needs 6. So I could rob some from this line, or double this and have the excess go on this line. Kind of like what I did with the rope here. But this is such a big build, relatively speaking. So 2 assemblers doing healing potions. That would take 120 sage powder and 120 flax. I know these make 120 flax, so that's just 1 nursery for the flax. I don't know what sage makes yet. Let's go see. So sage makes at 120 a minute. Perfect. Okay. So that's 1 nursery for sage and 1 nursery for flax. That can go into 2 assemblers for healing potions. And now all these need are the grinders. So I could do... I think the box trick is better here. So 1 there, 1 there. And I'm basically just going to copy this setup. Or, well, this half of this setup. So I'll grab that. Get it there. And there. So 1 belt will be flax. And 1 belt will be sage. So something like that should work. Alright, so this whole thing, I'm going to move over to here, next to these nurseries. I think since this mortar build is so small, it would fit better over here. I can use this extra space to actually double this build right here. That'll give me more linen to combine with the healing potions. Just over to here is fine for now. I'll copy this and then get it over to the right. I am out of iron. Oh, I'm out of iron. I haven't put back the iron build yet. Okay, a quick little iron build here. But now that I have this coal line, or fuel line, it makes it really easy to set something up really quickly. Okay, got enough iron now. This can go right up against that one there. So that'll double linen production. Now I definitely have a surplus of linen. So I could pull a little bit off of this belt, combine it with the healing potions to get bandages. So these will combine, come out, I guess this way. I want a priority splitter. Right here in the corner. So healing potions will first go into making bandages before moving along onto the bus. The bandages can come out this way. Now I just need to get linen from that belt to there on proper priority. Okay, there's about to be a lot of spaghetti here. This goes away. This goes away. The priority will be into here. Along that way. This needs to go up and over. And then the excess can go back into there. Now I need to get these connected up to the main bus. And this is starting to get really tall. I have to actually jump on top of it to work on it. But now I have to put mortars back on the belt. Because I took this out. Maybe hiding it in the corner over here is a good spot. What else do I need to make, actually? Well, I need this build to stay here. I'm definitely going to need a lot more nails to keep working on this bus. So not here, but here. And then that just needs to go back onto this line here. And that's just a really simple up and over belt. Something like that should be fine. Yeah, and fertilizer is still just really struggling. I'm not getting any making its way down to here. I think in the next episode, now that I've redone the shop, and I can see how much space this is actually going to take up, I either buy that plot back there to do fuel and fertilizer, or I have to stack and put the factory up on top of the shop and just bust everything down. It's taken me quite a long time to get all of this done, and I haven't even gotten to anything new yet. I still haven't gotten to soap, and I really wanted to get into the transformation potion. I think I have just enough time to set up a quick little soap build. That is going to take more fertilizer. I don't know if I can support that. I need to come up with something. I can always make more fertilizer later. I'll design a quick little soap build, get it onto the main bus and into the shop. That way people stop complaining about there not being any soap. And I also need to get some kilns going for glass and clay. I also took those out. So glass is made at 10 a minute, and bricks are made at 10 a minute as well. I think I'm going to double both of those and do 20 a minute on both. For glass, I need to supply 120 sand if I'm going to do 20 a minute. And that would take 6 stone crushers to do that. These have a terrible ratio. They only make 5 sand from rock. So that would be 12 grinders per kiln. I have 2 kilns. So that would be 24 grinders. This isn't going to fit. I do have these beams now, so I might be able to do some stacking shenanigans. So something like this, maybe? To get some verticality going, because then I can put another grinder on top of that, and I could stack it 3 tall. Then if I copy that whole thing and put it here, well, there's all 6. Then I just need to figure out the grinder situation, which I think I could just do... Okay, let's see. This does 20 plus 20, so that's 40. That's 8 grinders. So if I combine that into a single belt... Well, no, actually, it'll just fit here. I got extra space. I could do something like that, stacked 2 more times. That would be 60 sand here and 60 sand here. That would be perfect, because then I could have 60 go into one and 60 go into the other. I will need to get some lab stands here, though. But I can just use stone to stack here. And then just put in another floor. Right there. So that's a neat little sand build. Furnaces. I think I'll feed them from the outside. Now the tricky part is to get 3 vertical belts into there. Okay, I think I have an idea. This needs to go here. This will come up to this height. And this one has to come down. So something like this. And that will come out there. Get some lab stands. Okay, this is a mess. But it should... This should work. So all 3 levels join right here, and then they go into the kiln here. This can very easily be fed with coal along here. And then it's just a matter of mirroring that on the other side. There's probably a more elegant way of doing that, but I can't think of it right now. And then the outputs can just come out this way and join up into a box somewhere. I do like the use of verticality in this. This probably isn't going to be my final sand build, but something to work for now is fine. I'm going to put this right here. See, I need 1 space for the lift, and then 2 spaces for the portal. So I think that's as close as I can make it. And then the glass can just consolidate. I guess, since this is going to the shop, I don't need to put it into a box. Yeah, I think I'll just drop down to the floor immediately. That one and that one. And then just connect up and send it out this way. And glass, I think I'll put into this box here. So I need that to keep running along to at least here. This is almost getting too tall to manage here. I don't fit under the roof without crouching. Okay, but that should be glass now. The only thing left is brick, and I'll be back to where I was at the beginning of this episode, just with everything completely automated. So clay is made in a assembler using 60 a minute of sand. Great. Well, I have a build for that now. And charcoal powder. That's a really good sink for some of this wood, actually. I've got a lot of wood that's still backing up here. I've just been hand feeding these boxes over here to keep fertilizer running. So I will cut, well, not cut, but copy half of this. And modify it slightly, so I don't need that. Not making glass, I'm just making sand. And that'll all come out of this output right here. Then that needs to go into the assembler with charcoal powder at 30 a minute. Pretty sure that is just 3 crucibles with 3 grinders. So right here, I'll put the assembler. That can go in there. These can just go over into there. This makes clay at 15 a minute. But I said I wanted 2 of these. Have to check the recipe again. This only needs 10 a minute. Times 2 is 20, so oh my, I would need to double this. Well, I will copy the other half. And then just do something mirrored, like this. So these will go into there, and then that can just come out there. Okay, so this takes money as an input. Takes fuel and wood. And then I should get out clay. And then that needs to go into 2 furnaces. I think here and here. So the output can just run like that. And like that. Then the fuel can just run along here. Come from there into there. Then the output, I guess we'll just come down onto the floor like the glass. And connect up. Alright, now this entire thing, to copy that. It's gonna go right here. There we go. And coal, I could actually just branch here for this side. Well, no, I'd rather it be symmetrical, so maybe along here. I could do something like this. Then the very last piece of the puzzle is wood. I think what I can do for the wood is take a branch off of here, run it down this way, and then up and over onto the main bus there. And I'm really not a big fan of this spaghetti, but I don't think there's a better way of doing this at the moment. The wood can just run along to here. So it's going to temporarily use the circumference belt, or the perimeter belt. Just long enough to get into there, and into there. The very last step is to get this brick onto the main bus, and into the shop. And that will feed into this box right next to the glass. So all the way down into... Come on, into that. I think that worked. Yes. Now the only thing the shop is missing is soap. Soap is made in a blender using plant ash and linseed oil. So I need sage and flax. Plant ash, I know I'm making over here. That's made at 20 a minute. This needs 60, so that's 3 crucibles. Linseed oil, that is made in an extractor. But that can't be hand-fed. Alright, how much do you make? Is that 1,500 a minute? How much do you need? 4,000. Ugh, it's another gross ratio. So 2 of these is 3,000. I would need 3, and then I'm slightly overproducing to make 20 soap a minute. Now I could double that to 40. I'm not supplying anything to the shop at 40 a minute. This, I think, would be like way overproducing. So I'll just keep it simple. 1 furnace and 3 extractors. And I don't think it gets any simpler than this. So I need 1 nursery for sage. And 1 nursery for Flax. This can just come up into there, and that can go up into there. That gets split amongst those. I guess do that, sure. And the output, just gonna run down like that. So this is gonna go right up against the perimeter bus. Coal can come along that way. And fertilizer can just drop down like so. And so soap can come out this way into the bus. And it'll go into the box right next to the brick here. So now there shouldn't be a single item that anyone can complain about. I'm literally making everything that I can. Soap, glass, brick, bandages, linen, healing potions, nails, rope, mortars, gears, vitality potion even. Don't think I'm missing anything. Oh, nails. I'm missing nails. I don't have enough space for that. I can, it's just gonna be super tight right here. So maybe 4 iron smelters. Need a coal line here. This will be the output. And the input, I see a lot of people using catapults to feed these, but they actually have a belt input across the top here. Need a tad bit more space. Let's move this to right here. I can use a purchasing portal, right? Oh, that's too close. Okay. Let's move you again. Not there, not there, but there. So the iron can come out and into there. Fuel can just come in across that line. And money right there. So these produce at a rate of 10 a minute. And to make nails, it's done in a processor. These consume 5 a minute. So I would need 2 processors per smelter. I have 4 smelters, so that's 8 processors. 8 times 15 is a lot. I don't think I'm going to need that many nails. So I think I'll just do half. So that's 4 processors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doing nails. Can run along there. And then the excess, I'll just put into a box. Because I know I'm going to need iron for other stuff. And then this can just go right into the belt here. So we'll go over and in, over, and then up. And that'll join in right next to the soap right here. From that height there. And I can't even tell what is happening up here anymore. This vertical belt is very modular and flexible. It just takes a lot of resources, and it's once it gets above your head level, it's kind of hard to manage. So that was a lot of stuff I got done in this episode. Nothing tech-wise. I actually didn't even research a single thing. But factory-wise, I think I'm in a much better position now. Everything is automated and getting into the shop very nicely. This is good to a point. I think I found that point already. I think maybe some kind of a cannon chain might be better than this giant belt. But I do like the logistics hallway where I can go and grab things. It's kind of like my own mall. But let me know what you think about this. I don't think I've seen anyone do this yet. I mean, I've seen vertical buses, obviously, but I haven't seen like this logistics hallway before the shop. The biggest concern now is actually fertilizer production. I don't have enough to keep all of these processes running. So what I could do is just buy another plot over there, stamp down another fertilizer processor, and just belt over more fertilizer. But I think if I buy another plot, I'm going to have to do a lot of remodeling on the shop, because that'll open up a lot of space that I can use for factories. I can move these factories over to the new plot rather than them taking up shop space. Not that I need more shop space. I mean, I'm able to display all of the items I can make already, and a lot more. This is pretty future-proofed. I do need to think about how I'm going to progress into the transformation potion and even these steel things here. I either have to build up or buy the new plot. I don't think I can make the pillars yet. That is locked behind the next upgrade. I'll just throw this, up against this wall is fine, I guess. What is the next building? Oh, just steel. Yeah, I don't really want to make a whole steel facility. After I've done all of this, I don't even have any space for it. So I'll wait and do that in the next episode. I think I've got a lot of cash saved up, so buying the next plot might not be a terrible idea. Oh, maybe I don't have a lot of cash saved up. Well, I'll let the shop run in the meantime, make back some money, and then in the next episode, yeah, I think I have to buy the next set of plots back here, just to open up some space. I could just do like a really simple steel build, finish that upgrade. That way I can start building vertically. And then between this giant spot and these extra spots here, with the verticality, I won't need to expand for a very long time. I'm not too sure how to get the best view of what I've built here. Maybe from up here? This gives a good overview of everything I've built. I'm really happy about the stacking rock crushers. I think if I redo the fertilizer build, I'll have to use more verticality. I'm also really happy with how the shop looks. I think this is fantastic. Maybe a tad bright. Colors are really warm, but I really like this setup. So I think that'll be it for this episode. There's a lot of cleanup work that needed to get done. Not really much progress. But the shop is set up for future expansions. I don't need to mess around with the shop anymore. I can focus just on designing more factories. So I think this is a good place to end it. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.